shape all the way around them individually, all the shingles. They're going on pretty nicely all in all, and I think they're going to look very sort of reptilian, like scales, when they're finished across the whole roof of the building. Being Western red cedar, they're full of tannic acid and they need to be fixed with something that won't be corroded by the tannins in the timber. So we fix these with ring shank nails, which are silicon bronze. You can also use stainless steel for these, or copper would work. These won't be corroded by the timber and they work really well for holding down the shingles. One advantage with Western red is that you don't need to pre-drill them. When we're working with chestnut or oak shingles, you've got to pre-drill every time you fix one of these. One of the things I like about shingle roofs is being able to look up from the inside and actually see just the different layers of wood built up one upon another. And here with the skylights in the roof, we're going to get really nice features of light coming down, highlighting the round wood frames.
I spent a lot of years in construction and watching the whole process going on around me and being involved in it, and you know, knowing it was really wrong, a lot of things that were going on and stuff, and people just going there for money. People actually want to do this, you know, people are quite prepared to come down here, give up their time, their holidays, you know, and help out. People can get together and do this, and it's a community thing, you know. Every build that we've done has involved so many people. They've just come in to help us out and stuff like that. And I think that's where it is, that's the glue for it all. It's the community thing.
One of the advantages of having a round wood underfloor support is that the joist can be cut into the round wood beam, so we flatten out an area and they actually sink into it, which gives them support, a bit like a small noggin. And then we will also run actual noggins as well between them, so it helps to make a really stable floor. And these beams here in the round are far stronger than a square timber that would be in there. That's probably the equivalent of an 8 or 9 inch square sawn beam. So it's got a lot of strength running through the building. So these joists will then be skew nailed to secure them to the beam, and then we'll finish off the top with some Western red cedar floorboards. And these will have to be left with a slight gap to allow for the changes in sort of humidity and moisture content they're going to have, due to the fact that the building is exposed to the weather, certainly on the outer decks, and also the fact that it's an open building with no walls. We will get at times rain blowing in strong winds, so the floorboards have to have enough space to allow themselves to expand and contract, as the moisture will make the wood do that. Western red cedar is a great timber to use for that. One, because we've been able to source it locally, but also because it's naturally durable, full of tannins, and also a stable timber. In other words, once it's dried out and reached a certain moisture content, it won't expand and contract too much if it gets showers of rain, etc. on it.
I'd like to do this for a few years to come, you know, and then see where it leads, you know. Maybe be running jobs for Ben, or if Ben stops doing it, start doing it for myself, you know, or doing it with the rest of my colleagues. Because when I sort of first kind of qualified or trained as a carpenter, I think I was sort of thinking more in terms of this, and of course the reality is nothing like this. Round wood timber framing it's a natural form. It's not about straight lines, so you're not looking for perfection. You're looking for the sort of randomness of the natural wood, and it's sort of naturally beautiful. You know, you take a beautiful form. It's like cooking or something. You use the best ingredients, and you know, almost the thing does itself.
Constructing the fireplace, which is a central feature in the whole building. Because of the nature of the fact we've got the ridgepole coming right down the centre, we've had to sort of create this jaunty angle to take the chimney off to the side and out. What you're seeing here is the guts of it, really. None of this will be visible by the time we've finished. It will be a clayed, adobe-looking fireplace. I'll pull the string off when you come through. It's not a usual open fire. It's a very energy-efficient fireplace. It's designed by an American heating engineer by the name of Count Rumford. He was around in the 1800s, and he visited the UK to look at the fireplaces we had here, in particular the old ingle nooks. And although he thought our fireplaces were very beautiful, he thought most of the heat went up the chimney. So he was the first person to really design an angled firebox, and also how the smoke chamber and flue system works on an open fire. And although this is an open fire, it works in a very similar way to a wood burner. It actually has a damper that you can shut down the chimney to slow down the draw of the fire. It has the angles to push more heat out into the room, and also being a clay fireplace, it holds heat in this clay after the fire has gone out, which then puts heat back into the room. So for an open fire, it's very efficient. He also came up with different designs for the throat and the smoke chamber on the fireplaces. So this is actually a precast clay throat under here, which is specifically shaped to draw better and make the fire burn more efficiently and cleaner. On an internal fireplace, you also fit a damper up in here. So you've got the option of shutting down the chimney and reducing the speed that it's drawing, hence making it more efficient and allowing more heat to come back into the room. With this fireplace, because it will have the clay surround, that will warm up as well and work as a bit of extra thermal mass, so that once the fire is out, there'll still be some warmth from the surrounding clay.
Ben Lо is he's an inspirational figure in the woodland craft movement and in the permaculture movement and sustainable building, but also he's local to here. He's been known to us in the centre for many years. He's been involved here since we started, so we felt it was very fitting that he was the one that helped us to build this beautiful structure. We have buildings here. We inherited them from the Navy, and they do the job, but they're never going to win any prizes for architecture. And a lot of the skills we teach are about being in the outdoors, enjoying nature, learning about woodland skills, and we felt that we needed some kind of beautiful, inspirational space that people could use for learning, that felt like it was in the woods and gave people a connection with nature. We also run a natural burial site. We have about 850 people buried here at the moment, and we're doing about 4 or 5 funerals a week. We run a hostel and a campsite as well, so people can come and stay here, learn about sustainability and have a wonderful time in this beautiful part of the world.
So Nick and Andy are just fitting the last of the handrails onto these support posts coming up through the floor. The handrails have been steamed to mirror the profile of the wall plates of the building. They're then notched into the upright posts and drilled and fixed into place. We're right at the end of the build now, and trying to get the steps finished on the final day means everybody has to get involved. Basically, we've used some of the Lawson cypress poles and put them through the Wood Miser mobile sawmill to create a flat face. Then, measuring the angle, we've created 3 stringers running down from the deck down to the base and built our steps upon those. We've used offcuts from the floor of western red cedar to form the treads, and all in all we've created an open staircase which kind of welcomes you up to the main entrance of the building itself. So the woodland classroom has come to an end, and I'm off to the next building project. I hope you've enjoyed the DVD and it's inspired you to have a go at roundwood timber framing yourself. Go out there into your local woods and have a look at how the woods are being managed. Search for suitable poles and have a go at building something. My advice is start simple. Have a go at the joints. Get confident in those before you then move on and hopefully build something like a house for yourselves.
you.